1031 Kiss FM. My name is Ashlee, and you might know my guest name. He's a Grammy Award winning, one of my favorite R&B artists, singers. He has a Spider-Man face thing on right now. Please welcome Miguel to my show today. Yeah. Yay.
What's up?
So, I don't know if you noticed, we got you happy birthday balloons. Belated birthday.
Thank you. I didn't catch that. No,
That's
I
what it was
didn't.
for.
That's love.
We know your birthday was Monday.
Yes, it was.
Did you do anything?
I was in Joshua Tree over the weekend. Yeah, which is it's like the desert in California, or one of the deserts in California.
What did you do there? Like,
man, I just spent time with my family and some
Okay.
of my close friends that could make it. Yeah.
see, I thought it was gonna be like a way more like, oh yeah, I was so hungover.
I didn't do a lot of drinking. It
Okay.
definitely like, it got really we did like a sound bath. It was actually really awesome. We did meditation. It was dope.
You know, like I was telling
Mushrooms.
them mushrooms. I was telling them we're in Texas right now, but I'm from Seattle area,
Right, yeah.
and we're really into that. So I would definitely join you next time. Your next
Seattle's
birthday.
beautiful for it too.
Thank you.
Seattle's
It is.
incredible for that. Yeah, it's incredible.
It is. So you are 32, correct?
For that. 32.
What in this last year of life have you learned as you turned a year older?
Probably more than anything to just get out of the way of my own, essentially getting my mind out of my way.
Mm-hmm.
Like our minds are built to compute, but it's not. Life isn't always about making sense or rhyme or reason over things. It's very often about following like your instinct. I think when I've learned when I do that, it just works out better for me in the long run. So yeah.
Do you find that like how our minds compete with us, does that interfere with your art at all?
Yeah, it definitely does.
Yeah.
And I think we're like being it's like we're almost being taught to think more.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Instead of just letting it flow, like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we rely so much on like our devices. We cross-reference everything. Google has the answer for every question. If we want to know something about something, it's also cerebral.
Yeah.
And I think we just have a lot of wisdom that's already built in our gut instinct and like our intuition. But it's easy to lose touch when you stop using it.
Mm-hmm.
You stop relying on it. It's like a muscle. So I think that's kind of the biggest thing. I just feel like we've become very reliant on technology, and there's really no replacement for like what we already have. There's like something a little more spiritual, a lot more spiritual that we already have with us, and I think that's what it's about for me.
Well, because, in our society, we're taught like logic and consequences.
Yeah.
So people are second guessing themselves. So
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Absolutely.
Definitely. All this West Coast enlightened talk in the room.
Western.
I know.
Western ways.
Western ways. So we were talking earlier, and we were like, Miguel doesn't really show up on the blogs. We don't really see you on Shade Room.
I thought you were gonna say time.
No.
He doesn't ever show up on time. I was like, ooh, that's a bad reputation.
Gloria made sure y'all was on time.
Yeah.
And she gave me ETAs and everything.
That's awesome.
But you're not really on like, the Shade Rooms, the Ball Alerts. You kind of do lead a private life, especially with you and your fiance.
Yeah.
But your fiance is now on the E! reality show, The
Right.
Platinum Life. Did you have any reservations about that? Like, I don't want to give this part of us up, or what?
Definitely. I definitely had a lot and still have a lot of reservations, but I think they've been really awesome about respecting like the boundaries that her and I have definitely, set for ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And the one thing I'm not a part of the show. Like you won't see me on the show. There's a moment where we're in the studio and we're working because we're finishing a song for her, one of her songs, and I am there because we were working, But I'm not on the show. I'm not like a
cast member.
Yeah, I think for us, I think it's important that we keep our, like, all of this stuff that we do is like business.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And me showing my personality and my music. That's all a part of my business, essentially. And I enjoy doing that for my fans. But when you put like when you make your relationship a part of everyone else's, you give ownership of that to other people. You know, I learned this early, because early on I was a lot more, I would show our relationship a lot more. And so was she. But we started to realize that people start to kind of like make your relationship their thing, you know, and your relationship starts to mean something to other people. And as amazing as it is to be an example, the truth is, like, there's just so many dynamic on the day-to-day in any relationship that other people are never going to see or experience, that, you know, they start to expect it. They expect that you share with them the things that are really private, you know?
Yeah.
And that's where I learned that, you know, it's important to draw the line. So I'm excited for her, because the show really is showcasing her personality, her aspirations, her sense of humor, all of the things that really make me love her. And I think that really give her an extra, that really make her important in the now.
Yeah.
You know, her classiness, her talent. And I think that's why I'm excited for the show.
Yeah.
Because it gives people another layer of her, for them to see. And I think she's going to be amazing at taking that attention and the energy from that and being able to really convert it to put towards what she really wants to do. And that is acting and music and all those things. She designs, you know, she's a swimsuit designer, and she's been collaborating for that, and it's been amazing watching her do her thing, you know, and her suits sell out and all of that. But there's just so many layers that people just don't know.
Yeah. And
so that's why, even though I am very private, and we keep a lot of that to ourselves, I think for her it's a great opportunity, and she's killing it already. So
yeah,
I think just her classiness brings another level of something that I'm excited for women to see.
Yeah,
you know, especially young girls to see.
Yeah, and she's probably like, you know, you took the spotlight for so long. Step aside. Let me.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely had it on my own. You know, I've had it on my own, and it's exciting to imagine, you know, the difference. It's already a very different thing. Like even now, like the fact that I get to speak about her not only just as that's my girl, but as someone people can recognize and see and cross reference for themselves and see who I'm talking about, I think is cool. Not just on Instagram. You know? Yeah.
So like Neo's wife is also on the show.
Right.
Do y'all have like a husband group chat? Like, man, what they talking about?
Right.
On the show?
We should have we actually probably should. We don't yet. I think
Neo.
all of us, because like Neo and I have been friends before before this, and he's always shown love and vice versa. And I think it's kind of Nelly's wife is on the show, or his girl is on the show. A few of us like know each other. Yeah. And I think it's kind of a silent agreement that it's like that's their thing. We really don't get involved. You know, we allow them to do their thing, and I think that's it's important. You know, as long as no lines are crossed. And I think from meeting all of the women and having a chance to like hang out with them and hear how they talk about the show, and even the information that Nas has given me about the show, it's been very unanimous on how they want to portray themselves, you know? Yeah. And they have a very strong agreement on, you know, what lines they're not going to cross and things like that. So.
Which is good, because this is on the E! Network.
Right.
But a lot of other reality shows we've seen, it's cursing, fighting,
right,
whatever. So they're probably like, nah, we're
they curse.
You know,
they definitely curse.
Nah, cursing like, you mother. You like,
right, right. I know that
like
they
that
have they've had some, you know, there's some drama between a couple of them, but then you also have to realize it's television.
Yeah, it's like we're trying to make it interesting. Yeah,
right.
Get ratings.
Yeah.
So new album, which is what he's here for. Let's get to that. War and Leisure.
Most importantly,
what he's here for. The last time Miguel and I saw each other was in Miami at the iHeart Summit we had.
Yeah.
And you played a few songs for us. And one that stuck out that I like was Pineapple Skies. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Is it on the album?
Pineapple Skies is on the album.
Okay. And I told you.
You have a good memory.
Do we have a release date?
I have a release idea.
But you ain't telling nobody.
But I'm not going to release that information.
Miguel was like, you thought I was about to tell you. So obviously Skywalker, that's the single right now with Travis Scott. He's from Houston, Texas, his own. But since you can't give us a release date, any features we can expect?
Aside from Travis, there are a couple more features, but I can't disclose that
Oh my
information.
gosh.
I mean,
I'm maybe mad.
we're so I mean, nothing surprises us anymore.
That is true.
You know? So it's like we got to kind of give you something to.
You got to keep something to myself.
Yeah.
I got it. Now, real quick, I saw another interview. You divulged that you're a Game of Thrones fan.
Definitely.
That you binge watched.
Definitely.
Which I also did.
I pretty much finished the whole season, like the whole every season in like a matter of 2 weeks. I think.
Me too. Like winter break, I had nothing to do. I was like, let's see what brother and sister are having sex this week.
Right.
Go ahead. So, with you being
you guys like Game of Thrones? You guys. You haven't.
Is she gonna binge watch it today in the next
watch.
few weeks?
If you watch like the first 3 episodes, you'll automatically like
But it does take the first 3 episodes because the first one you'll be like,
you'll be like, yeah.
But when Khaleesi shows up, Daenerys,
it's over.
It's over.
Yeah.
So I always I model myself after Daenerys because she's a badass.
Righteous.
She's a boss ass. You know.
Yeah.
Who do you model yourself after in Game of Thrones?
Man, I love a lot of the characters. Of course, Jon Snow is gonna be a favorite. Tyrion is definitely a favorite of mine.
Mm-hmm. Really? I hate Tyrion.
Tyrion is
the shorter one. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I think between him and the reason why I like Tyrion is because how he deals with everybody. He treats everyone pretty much fairly, you know, and he doesn't put on a front. He's very fair with his dealings with everybody, and it kind of like his navigation of, you know, his life and all of his circumstances and blah blah blah. He's been pretty on point, and I think his interaction with what's the advisor dude?
Littlefinger.
The other one, not the bad. He's not bad. Littlefinger was kind of like conniving.
Oh, the one that had the bald head?
Right.
I have no idea what his name is.
Right.
I know what you're talking about.
Right.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
It's interesting how they become sort of friendly because at the end of the day, they're more looking out for what's good for the entire, what is it called?
The kingdom.
The kingdom. The entire kingdom, you know? And I think I respected that. I like Tyrion. Even though he has it's like he has his vices.
Yeah.
In the beginning, you're like, where's this guy coming from or what is he really about? And he's kind of an underdog in that way. I guess I relate to that.
See, you put way more thought into it because I was just like, Khaleesi got dragons and she a badass bitch.
Khaleesi is Khaleesi is a badass bitch though. And she always, the crazy thing is I like watching her story because she starts to develop her confidence.
Yeah.
You kind of see it as it goes, you know, as the story progresses. And watching her transition from this girl who's kind of being sold into
marriage.
Yeah, into marriage for someone else's plot to regain the throne.
Yeah.
The Iron Throne. And then seeing how she transitions from kind of just being kind of in the middle of it and not knowing what's going on to kind of taking charge of her own destiny, so to speak. It's dope. It's really, really dope.
She gets like all these armies behind it. Yeah.
Right. The whole like, how she does it is really dope. Yeah. And of course Jon Snow, I mean, I have reasons for everything. Yeah. Jon Snow is just he's like I didn't want to be king, you know? He's like I didn't even want to be king, but he just is.
But I got it.
He's the man. Yeah.
Because I got it. It's who I am.
Yeah.
Well, you just did well, not just did. It came out a while ago, the Sunshine song with Kyle.
Yeah.
Which was dope. And I was thinking that rappers and singers usually pair up a lot. So like for a while people thought you and J. Cole were going to be like the Drake and Trey songs, I guess, of your guys' side. Then you see rappers pair up a lot on projects like Young Thug and Future just dropped their tape. You've had Watch the Throne.
Right.
keep going down the line. Why is it that R&B singers don't really do that?
Haven't yet.
Did we just get exclusive? No.
No, I mean, I think this has crossed my mind before too.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just changing. Just that everything is changing now, which is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Before, I think hip hop was very, and I come from hip hop. Like I grew up listening to underground hip hop.
Yeah.
And really being into lyricism and lyricists.
Yeah.
So there's a culture there, I think, that we're growing out of. And I think that's a part of maybe what it is with R&B.
Do you think that is because the audience, he's like, wait, hold on. It's because the audiences. So like now we have the classification of mumble rap. Kids are really just listening for the beat and the turn up and whatever. Say whatever you want. I don't care. As long as the beat rides. But R&B, it's like, you really got to be saying something for me to keep this on because it's melodic and...
Sort of. No, I mean, it's weird. I think it's also different now because even rap is singing. It's melodic.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I don't like. I mean that term mumble rap. I'm not using it in a derogatory way, but I get what the kind of music you're talking about, referring to. Most of that is melodic. There's a melody under it. It's not just lyrics.
Yeah.
So the lines are just just blurred. I think it's more the visual. People are like, they identify a visual, and if you come off a certain way, if you come off like a hood dude, then the passes, you kind of have like a slight edge. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, that's always how the world works. It's perception.
Yeah.
How you're perceived, you're allowed certain things within and not allowed certain things within that perception. And that's just how we work as human beings, I think.
Yeah. Well, going back to like two R&B artists working together, I think the internet kind of blew up when you did that cover of SZA's The Weeknd. Righteous.
And
I feel like your voice was
Love
the
SZA.
correct voice to do it because you both have like a very soulful remembrance of the past voice in R&B.
Thank you.
But if we're talking about hypothetical R&B album collabs, I have my wish list. Who are some artists you would want to actually do a project with?
Man, projects, just R&B artists?
Yeah, like an R&B album together.
Man, pick anyone, everyone. I mean, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of honestly. Honestly, I really am a fan. Like I love music.
Yeah.
So I listen to everybody. I have an open ear, and there's something I could find that I'm like, yo, that's dope. I really want to, that'd be dope to do something with them. So I guess it's more of a question of timing. It's more of a, for me, it's more of a when than an if for me. The rest is scheduling and if other people want to rock or whatever. But
do it.
Yeah.
Because my wish list, I didn't mean this on purpose. They are all your label mates, but SZA is one, obviously.
Yeah.
Just because of the cover you did. We're like, where's the official remix?
I feel like that's like a that would be a I would push for that for the sooner than later.
Yeah. I threw Bryson out there.
Definitely.
Just because I feel like you're not old, but he's like newer.
Righteous,
like, you came out before him a little.
Definitely,
Yeah.
I'm definitely older, obviously. 32 this week.
A little. And then the last one, he's not your label mate, but I feel like you and Ty Dolla $ign would do something dope.
Yeah. And Ty comes from like the same school in LA. Like he's like a Sa-Ra kid, which is, they're like innovators in LA. I wish we would have had, man, this could go off into a whole other
whole other lane.
Yeah, but I would look forward to that. Big shout out to Ty Dolla $ign and SZA and everybody. Definitely Bryson.
Yeah.
I'm a fan. Everybody.
And I'll also throw
Bruno.
Oh yeah, you notice our Bruno shrine over here?
I saw that.
Because he was here Tuesday and I got all that because we love Bruno.
He played out here, right?
Yeah, Tuesday.
Nice.
And then I think he's in Dallas either tonight or tomorrow. So he's on his Texas run right now. But it was an amazing show.
He kills the show.
He does. And
him and his band, like this, the band is insane. His brother is his MD, and he drums. He's He's the drummer as well. They kill it, man. Those guys really, really kill it.
And me and some of my friends, some of the people in this room, we went, and he brought out such a diverse crowd that you got little kids, you got old white women, you got black people, Hispanic. Like,
Yeah.
it was lit. I thought it was dope. I
It's
like
super dope.
crowds like that. Yeah.
We toured with him in Australia, so the crowd wasn't as
Yeah.
it was diverse, but it wasn't as diverse. But it was amazing. It was amazing. Like, to see the show every night and to watch people's reaction, because it's not production heavy.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's you know, we could, there's a lot of shows that are very production heavy where it's like, all right, you're good. It's almost like a Vegas show.
Yeah.
You know. And his isn't. His is like
just him and his band. Yeah.
Him and his band, and they're rocking, and they're really, really playing, and it's really his voice. It's amazing. It's amazing.
He was amazing. That's another one I'll throw on wish list for collabs.
I said it. I was like, yeah, Bruna. Yeah.
See, and just because I'm listening to her album right now, Janae, because her album's dope.
The new project, right?
The Trip, yeah.
Yeah, we were listening to that over the weekend.
See,
big shout out to Janae. We've already collabed though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like people, and we're not gonna go down this route, but people don't know she's been around for a long time.
Yeah.
Like since B2K.
Yeah.
She's
like she would like her. There was a project insert for her in the B2K album. I remember that.
And you got served and all that. See,
she had a pair of headphones on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
back in the day.
I remember that, Janae.
So I promise. We're finally talking about the album. War and Leisure. It's a new project. And I saw that the album title and probably the album itself, it was inspired by our current president. True or not?
Man, I'm wondering what interview this was.
I would tell you. I'll show it to you afterwards.
Okay.
But I'll show it to you. But I saw the headline inspired by president and his tweets and stuff like that.
Right. Man, journalists and the need for headlines.
Well, we're asking you now, is that true or?
It's that's a part of it, because that's what's happening right now.
Yeah.
You know, I think I try and make albums that are reflective of where I am in the moment in time, so I could go back and remember who I was and what I was going through and what was changing my life or what was happening in the world, you know? And this album is very much like that. It follows suit in that way, where I'm really trying to capture an energy for myself so I can listen back later on. So yeah, that's a part of it, but I think it's more about just the overall energy or opposing energies that are pulling us right now. You know, it's like we're at the brink of everything. Yes, we are at the brink of. It seems like we're at the brink of war via tweets,
Twitter. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? At some point, some days I wake up and it's like news headlines that it's, you know, our president of the United States is tweeting at the leader of another country, provoking, and they're sending provoking messages through social media. You know,
and it's like, who's gonna pull the trigger first?
Right. That's one part of it. Then there's just the everyday struggle that we all have to just stay positive, you know. Then we have the empty. It's kind of like an empty. We're all being told to stay positive, because if we're not, then we're hating.
Yeah.
So there's that like weird balance. It's like, well, if I don't like something, does that mean I'm hating on it?
Yeah.
Or does it just mean that I have an opinion and I just don't like it? Like, where do we stand in that? You know, there's a fight for our own individuality in a place that seemingly is promoting, or in a culture that's seemingly promoting and accepting of individuality, but we're saying that, you know, at the most visual levels, we're still dealing with things like racism and sexism and so on and so forth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we have all of these weird kind of forces pulling us in this weird time. Like, we're the most technologically advanced that we've ever been in our agreed history. So we're able to put microorganisms in our bodies that could help save our lives. But then we're also dealing with the fact that it might be the same technology that brings the world to an, you know what I mean? It's like it could create some ultra nanovirus, you know? And it's like we're at a pivotal time right now.
Yeah.
It's just what it is. And so I think that's those feelings and those ideas are what contributed to the overall energy in the album. So yeah, I did say that's a part of it, but it's
not everything.
No, it's just a part of it. I just wake up every just like everybody else, in the middle of everything, trying to figure out how I'm going to maintain, how I'm going to stay positive, how I'm going to maintain my own spiritual,
that long-winded answer.
Excuse me.
No, you're fine.
I have a talent for that.
Yeah, a talent for that. That is, your albums are like time capsules in your life, so you can go back and remember where you were, what was happening in the world at the time. So that is part of War and Leisure, but that's not everything. Obviously, we're expecting soulful stuff from Miguel. He's not giving us a release date yet, but we're sure that we'll get. You have Shock and Awe out. Are you gonna? And you'll probably release another single.
Shock and Awe is like a kind of one-off. That was because it was chosen for
that
a spot.
Yeah. So we know that we're definitely gonna hear more from Miguel. But
definitely.
We had the dopest conversation, but we thank you so much for stopping by.
No, it's my pleasure. Thank you.
And we're going to see each other again probably another few months and continue this conversation.
I look forward to it.
Thank you.
All right.